They say childhood is the season of innocence. But for Shun Uruma, childhood became the first place he learned how to bleed and how to hate. The sun shone warm through cherry blossom petals, drifting like pale snow. Classrooms buzzed with chatter, laughter echoing off white walls. But at the back of one room, Shun Uruma sat silent, small, shoulders curled inward. His uniform was neat but wrinkled, his bag frayed at the seams. No one spoke to him unless they had to. And when they did, it came with venom. "Hey, rat." The voice belonged to Kyu Shigoku, leader of the so-called Holy Five, boys who thought torment was a sacred duty. A hand twisted into Shun's collar, yanking him up. "Who's your mommy and daddy?" "Say it." Shun stared at the floor. "Look at me," Kyu growled. Shun said nothing. A fist slammed into his stomach, not to injure, just to remind him who held power. The teacher glanced over, eyes flicking away as fast as shame. There are wounds fists leave, and wounds silence leaves. The silent ones go deeper. After class, they dragged Shun behind the building, where concrete walls kept secrets. One boy flicked a lighter. Another poured crushed bugs into Shun's collar. One tied his shoelaces, shoved him down, laughed as he fell. His father sat hollow in the living room, television flickering against silent walls. "You're not human," Kyu whispered. "You're garbage. You're alive because we let you be." Shun stayed quiet. A kick landed in his ribs. Another. Then the laughter faded, leaving only the sound of his own breathing. At home, his mother barely met his eyes. No questions. No comfort. Small. Dark. Thrumming with something colder than fear. That night, pain spread through his chest, but a seed took root beside it. Days bled into weeks. The man called softly, "You look like a ghost." Fake photos. Forced humiliations in front of the class. The beatings grew crueler. Dead animals in his locker. The old man said he spent years haunting himself, until he turned around and haunted the ones who made him that way. The man murmured, "Learn the difference, or you'll destroy yourself." And every day, Shun felt himself shrinking, unable to speak, not just from the world, but from the belief that help would ever come. Then, one evening, blood crusted on his lip, Shun passed an old man crouched near the forest gate. Shun lay awake. "Boy, or vengeance?" Shun hesitated. He whispered, thrown off for the first time. Kyu cornered him in the bathroom. "I once knew a ghost, steady and cold." Shun stared at him, "Rat, I'll fix that." The man's eyes held no pity, only understanding. Justice and vengeance. Every bruise, every word, you'll pay for all of it. That night, a punch flew. The old man's words twisted through his thoughts. Justice. No one was coming to save him. No one would punish the monsters. If justice wouldn't come, maybe vengeance would. Longer or adjusted for a video script format. The next day, Shun said, voice trembling, "Teach me how to be stronger." Still breathing, Shun lifted his gaze. "You'll regret it." "What did you say?" Shun stepped closer. "I said," Kyu blinked, then laughter spilled out. He said, "A weapon." But Shun didn't flinch. There's a moment when fear dies. And in its place, something far worse is born. The day ended beneath a violet sky. Shun stood at the edge of the forest, where the old man waited again. "Teach me," the old man nodded. "Not strong." Asterisk, they thought they were breaking him. Instead, they forged the cross he would make them bear. Asterisk, hatred is simple, but revenge. Revenge is an art. The sky hung gray and swollen as rain fell over the city like weeping silk. Shun Uruma stood beneath the forest trees, clothes soaked through, breath steaming in the chill. Before him, the old man waited, arms crossed, face stern beneath a battered hat. "Have you decided?" the old man asked. Shun clenched his fists. I want to become strong enough to destroy them. The old man nodded slowly. That strength will cost you everything. Revenge doesn't take your life in one piece. It devours you, piece by piece. They stepped deeper into the woods. There, hidden beneath branches and leaves, lay a makeshift training ground, logs bound together into dummies, rocks blackened by fire. You'll train here, the old man said. No one will see you. No one will hear you scream. Shun swallowed. Why? Help me. The man's eyes darkened. Because long ago, someone helped me. And because monsters shouldn't be allowed to walk free. The days that followed blurred into sweat and pain. Mornings, Shun rose before dawn. He ran until his legs burned, swung wooden swords until blisters bled. When he collapsed, the old man dragged him to his feet. Again, he roared. Weakness is death. Fear is death. Hesitation is death. Shun's small body shivered beneath bruises. But each day, he stood a little straighter. In the soil of hatred, the seeds of resolve grow fast. At school, the Holy Five kept coming. Rat, Q sneered one morning. Why so tired? Did the ghosts keep you up? They pushed him into desks, smacked his books to the floor. But Shun's eyes didn't look away anymore. Q stared back, frowning, sensing a change he couldn't name. Watch yourself, Q hissed. Shun smiled faintly. I am. After classes, Shun vanished into the woods. The old man taught him how to strike vulnerable places, how to twist joints, how to aim for eyes, throats, groins. Remember, the man whispered, pressing a practice knife into Shun's trembling hands. The first cut decides who wins. Shun's arms ached. His ribs felt cracked. But inside, a new heat pulsed dark, steady, merciless. One night, as rain lashed the trees, Shun stumbled in exhaustion. The old man crouched beside him. You still want revenge? Shun nodded, teeth gritted. Then keep going, the man said. Or else, crawl back to the classroom and keep being their prey. Shun pushed himself up, breath ragged. I'm not prey anymore. A boy can become a monster. Or a weapon. The difference is who's holding the blade. By week's end, Shun's eyes had sharpened. No longer the stare of a beaten child, but of something else. And far away, the old man watched, whispering under his breath. Soon, they'll taste the cross they carved into you. And thus, the boy who bore the mark of vengeance began forging the chains of retribution. Chapter 3. The taste of blood, it's strange how quickly fear can change flavors. Into rage, night blanketed the city in heavy silence. Neon signs flickered like wounded eyes. And beneath it all, Shun Uruma moved through the darkness, his steps quieter than whispers. Each day, he trained until his muscles screamed. Each night, he replayed the faces of the Holy Five behind his eyelids. Q's grin, the laughter, the blows. Someday, I'll wipe them all away. At school, the atmosphere shifted like storm clouds gathering. Shun kept his gaze steady, lips pressed into a thin line. He no longer flinched when Q shoved him into the wall. He no longer trembled when insults rained down. And the Holy Five began noticing. Bullies thrive on fear. Take that away, and they start to wonder which one of you is the predator. One afternoon, the teacher left the classroom early. Q slammed his palm on Shun's desk. Still staring at me like that, rat? He snarled. Shun didn't answer. Q grabbed his collar, yanked him from the chair. You think you're something now? Want to fight back, freak? Shun's eyes glimmered, dark as midnight. I don't want to fight, he said softly. I want to end you. A hush fell over the room. Even the other Holy Five exchanged uneasy looks. In the bathroom afterward, Q's rage exploded. He punched Shun in the gut, over and over, until the tiles blurred in Shun's vision. You worthless garbage. Know your place. Blood dripped from Shun's mouth, but his eyes never wavered. That night, he stumbled into the forest clearing, legs barely holding him up. The old man waited there, seated on a tree stump like a silent judge. Shun fell to his knees. I'm still too weak. The old man studied him for a long moment. You bled today? Shun nodded. The old man's lips curled into the faintest smile. Good. Now you've tasted your limit. Next time, you'll push past it. Every drop of blood spilled today is a debt to be repaid tomorrow. Training grew fiercer. The old man threw him into the mud, struck him with wooden sticks, forced him to crawl, bruised and gasping, across gravel. Pain is your teacher, he barked. Listen to it, Shun screamed in agony, but rose again and again. At school, rumors started whispering through the halls. Did you hear about Shun? He stared Q down. He's not scared anymore. The Holy Five grew restless, pushing Shun harder, trying to break him. But each strike bounced off something iron inside him, and in the shadows, Shun began watching them, where they kept their phones, their secrets, their weaknesses, until it's certain the knife will cut deepest. Revenge is patient. It studies. It waits. One evening, as rain poured like grief, Shun approached the old man. Teach me how to make traps, he said. The old man's eyes glittered. You're ready for the next lesson, then. The boy who once begged for mercy was learning how to create suffering instead. And soon, the Holy Five would learn. The cross they carved into him was only the beginning.